Been a great day so far. Let's see if we can keep the momentum going today. We want to make at least get the start on a nice Italian loaf to go with the beef stew for tomorrow. And as I mentioned in the first video this morning, you really need to make sure that you start your bread the day before the dough, because it will lose some of that harsh edge to it, that raw dough taste. Too many people think they're going to fire up a loaf of bread 3 hours before dinner time, and okay, sometimes it turns out okay, but it doesn't have near the depth of flavor that you can have when you started the day before, or even 2 or 3 days before. Now, we do have sourdough starter. We're not going to use this one. I have that somewhere else. I'm just doing this as if you were just coming in and you had some yeast, and I like to use Red Star Baker's yeast. I can get 5 pound, 2 pound block for like 1 pound block for like $4 or something. It lasts forever. I get some regular gold medal. I don't have any bread flour. That's okay. I'm going to spike it up with a little bit of rice wine vinegar to give a little bit of an edginess to it. And we're going to use a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil too, to sort of put an Italian twist on it, and some sea salt too. So let's get started. We also have to make a cream pie here too, a chocolate cream pie. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything's out of the oven. I'm going to run it up to about 500 degrees, okay, because we're going to do a blind baking, which means we're going to bake the pie shell, make that and bake that separately, and then we're going to whip up our chocolate cream filling, put that in, put a plastic cover over that to keep that from forming a skin on top, and that'll be ready to go for tomorrow, when we can just take our whipped cream, make some fresh whipped cream, top it, and enjoy it. It should be good. Let's go ahead, take a couple minutes and prep the dough tonight. I'm going to take 2 cups of flour here, probably about 3 cups of H2O, lukewarm. I'm going to proof the yeast first, which means I'm going to put it in here with a teaspoon of sugar and 1 cup of milk, and let that 1 cup of water, let that get activated a little bit, and then we'll add our flour. We're going to have a very liquidy dough tonight, and then tomorrow we'll be adding the flour just to firm that up enough that we can get that on the baking sheet and get that done. I'm going to tell you a few hacks along the way. Those of you who have been with me for years on the channel know that bread baking has been a significant component, as has making desserts. So let's cut the bullshit. Let's stop talking. Let's get to it. We've got some bread to get started and a pie to get made, okay? All I want to do here is add perhaps a teaspoon of yeast, the Red Star yeast. I keep it refrigerated. We used it a long time. For the moonshining, I want to take a cup of water, and I'm going to get a little bit, warm this up a little bit. I don't like to use distilled water, because some of the trace minerals and things are driven out of that, and I think that's essential in bread baking. I'm just going to give that little bit of heat for 1 second over here. Literally no time at all. Don't want hotter than 105 degrees or so. I'm using my finger in there, and just a little bit to bring that up to temperature. I'm going to go ahead and add the whole 2 cups now. That's going to be the starter for our dough for tomorrow. Okay. Now I'm going to grab some sugar too. I think I have some sugar around here somewhere. Again, I'm just going to add about a teaspoon of sugar in there, and this doesn't have to be super precise for doing this. Okay, this is the day before. And I'm gonna take my whisk here and whisk this real good. What this will do is get this, wake this yeast up. Get this activated. All Alright, so I'll see you back here in about 10 minutes or so. That'll be awaken that yeast, and then we'll get the rest of the first day process underway and get that away. This is the easiest bread that you'll ever make. The no knead bread, it's a breeze. So real simple. Okay, so the yeast is activated. 1 teaspoon of yeast, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 2 cups of water, about 100 degrees. Let that warm up a little bit. Let that yeast get nice and happy. Guys, we're back, and the foamy yeast is a very happy yeast. So you can see that looking real bubbly. You don't need a lot. You're going to say, whoa, you hardly used any yeast at all. Remember, this is going to sit on the counter tonight, all night long, okay? So we're going to pick up some flavors. Want to go ahead and add about a teaspoon of rice wine vinegar. This will kind of give a little bit of sourness to her. I want to go ahead and add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil. This will help keep it fresh. It'll give a little bit of a softer edge to it. Go ahead and get this all incorporated here. It'll kind of emulsify a little bit here. We do this, okay? And there we're going to go also and add our salt on there. About 2 tablespoons of salt. You can tell this, I've done this a couple zillion times. And that's our basic flavor base for our Italian loaf here. Give a little extra zing. Make sure you work that good. Then we're going to take 2 cups of flour here. Here comes cup number 1. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to make a very liquidy dough here. Okay. Number 1, and here comes number 2. We'll get our spoon and we'll blend that in. Work that in real good, okay? That's going to make almost a batter. Might add a little bit more just to stiffen this up, but this is one of the keys for having a real active, really tasty, good bread. I think we'll add our 3rd cup here. That'll be enough that Mrs. Jen can enjoy the bread during the week here. This will still keep it battery goodness. Here, this will rise nicely overnight. Okay. And then all we have to do is add enough tomorrow just to stiffen that up. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just incorporate all the ingredients. Okay, and there she is. It already smells wonderful right now. You shouldn't eat raw dough, but there you go. That's Rosie's little trick. That's rice wine vinegar. I'm going to give that a really beautiful wang. So remember to add your flour in quickly after you've stirred your olive oil and everything in to give a nice, so it's all emulsified and not separated, okay? All we have to do now is go ahead and cover this, and this can sit around and get happy all night long. And then tomorrow afternoon we'll pop it in, and it's going to be an easy breezy meal tomorrow. But you know what? Now we got to get on, guys. We've got a chocolate cream pie to make, okay? Don't go anywhere.